Alright, what's going on folks, it's the Boxing Genius here, and we are going to do a prediction now on the final installment the final fight in the Bantamweight Filipino Clash. But technically this is the first one. I'm not sure why I did this last, but this is going to be the first one on May 29th. Donaire versus Oubaali, so let's get right into it. Let's get right to my prediction afterwards. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at Oubaali just because I think we've seen more of Donaire than Oubaali. Let's get into it. The first one that I think will make a lot of difference for Oubaali in this fight is his ability to do a double entry and his ability to break his rhythm. This is a very tough thing to deal with. So if you look at Lomachenko, he has this kind of footwork. Well, let's just get right into the example. So over here, you're gonna see him go in, out, in, and then in again on the second onset. So he's gonna go out, out, in, and then in once again. And this is a very unpredictable kind of footwork or a very unpredictable rhythm, because when you go in and out, there is a certain rhythm that your opponent picks up to, and they think that you're gonna use that rhythm for the whole fight, and once you break it, they don't see it coming. So over here, he's gonna go out, in, and then in again. He's gonna use momentum from his heels. So you see he lands on his heels. Boom, he lands on his heels, and then he's gonna sweep the ground with his front foot in order to propel himself forward. Now, I'm not gonna dig deep right into this. All I'm saying is Oubaali has the ability to go in and make you think that he's about to attack, when in fact he's just setting up another attack if you are open, okay? So that's a double entry. Here's another example. He's gonna go in, out, in, and then in again right there. But that time it ended up as a feint. And this is a really confusing thing. And you're not gonna understand what this is until you actually face an opponent who has this kind of footwork. Their ability to go not in, out, in, out, in, out, but their ability to go in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, right? Once you get into this rhythm where they constantly break it up, and once you face an opponent who has this kind of footwork, is really confusing. You know, you're gonna realize this once you get in the ring with someone who has this kind of footwork. So over here, he's gonna come in again. He starts off with this by stepping out, in again, there's in, out, in, and then he goes with a split step there to set his lead foot up and then push off of that foot in order to get closer to Takuma Inoue. Boom. And that can be confusing on your side or on Donaire, because he plants his feet, he's waiting for his opponent to commit, but he never knows the distance simply because his opponent is constantly moving. So you think Oubaali has already been set to a certain distance between him and Donaire, when in fact he's just setting up another attack. So he's going in, out, in, and then he's gonna throw that left hand. It's a really confusing kind of rhythm. And I don't think Donaire will be able to handle this. I'm sorry, Donaire fans out there. This is just too awkward. This is the positive effect of being young, okay? I'm sorry, Donaire. I'm a big fan of you, but I favor Oubaali on this one. I'm sorry to a lot of Donaire fans out there. I know Donaire doesn't watch my channel, but for all his fans out there, I'm really sorry. So here's the next one. Whenever he throws the left hand, a lot of people worry about the left hook of Donaire landing on Oubaali. Again, I don't think that will happen, and for a couple of reasons. The first one is Oubaali always pays attention to the positioning of his head whenever he throws a jab or a left hand. So depending on the best punch of the opponent, he has the ability to move his head off the line, off the center, and then put it on one side in order to avoid that punch. So over here is going to be a jab, a left hand, and then as you can see here, his head is way past the elbow of Takuma Inoue, making sure that no matter how wide Takuma Inoue throws that hook, it's not going to land, simply because he is on the side of that elbow. So if you look at the Pryor versus Arguello fight, Pryor was throwing the right hand. After he threw the right hand, he was leaning, or he was dipping down on the right elbow of Arguello, so that he can make sure that Arguello won't be able to counter him with the uppercut. And that's the same thing that Oubaali does a lot. And it's really hard to adjust to this if you're flat-footed, which unfortunately Donaire is. So you look at Pryor versus Arguello, the second fight. Arguello was able to move back and then throw the uppercut, and it worked. Why did it work? Because that slight inch between him and Pryor was the main reason why he wasn't able to hit Pryor, because Pryor was too close. And number two, Pryor's head was on the side of Arguello's elbow. Damn, I'm really bad at names, but you're getting what I mean here, right? Here's another one, head position. So on this one, it's going to be a left hand. I think it's a left hand. Yes, it is the left hand. And as you can see here again, yes, he was not able to go past the elbow of Inoue, but he was able to go sidewards enough, diagonally enough. He was able to go to the side enough to where Inoue won't be able to throw it with full power, therefore only allowing Inoue to hit him with his forearm, and giving him a very narrow space to throw that hook from. Okay, so he leans over to the side. Inoue tried to compensate for it by going wide with the hook, but he wasn't able to hit him. Even if he will be able to hit him, there's not a lot of momentum to it, and it's not gonna generate a lot of power from that hook. Boom. Okay, so we're just naming a couple of factors here, but these factors are really the main points that I want to point out. I'm not one of these YouTubers who point out a lot of details and who gives you 1 hour videos. Let's make it short. Next one. Let's talk about his ability to generate power from, or having a flexible stance. What I mean by that is he can set up his offense from this position. Okay, and he can also set up his offense from a long position. So the gap between his lead foot and his rear foot, he can generate power from that normal stance, and he can also generate power by lunging forward, by outstretching his legs, and then reaching his opponent that way. So here's an example. He starts off with a pretty normal stance between his lead foot, and then he's gonna propel himself forward once again. Now he's on a very wide stance, and most people will not recommend this simply because you have a tendency to lift your rear foot up. But for Oubaali, he's able to adjust, he's able to generate power from this position, and he's able to regain his balance right after he throws the punch. So he throws the left hand to the body over there, throws the left hand to the body, and then as he propels forward, he throws that left hand, he's able to lean back and get back on balance. Now, why is this an important factor in this fight against Donaire? Because Donaire has a reputation of hitting people who overcommit on their shots. So an example of this is Montiel, an example of this is Vic Darchinyan. All of these guys have a tendency to overcommit when they punch, whereas Oubaali is a completely different fighter in the sense that he has the ability to get back on balance very quickly, just like Rigondeaux. That's why Donaire has a very big problem with Rigondeaux, because Rigondeaux will throw a left hand and then he'll step out right away, and that left hook won't even arrive no matter how quick it is for Donaire, and that's going to be the same thing here, in my opinion. Next factor I want to talk about is left arm control, okay? So let's hypothetically say that Oubaali leans over to the elbow and Donaire was able to step back and then hit him with the left hook and have that distance covered. Let's hypothetically say that. Well, Oubaali has another option which you can use, which is the control of the lead hand, which will inevitably reduce the chances of Donaire even being able to be in a position, or it will reduce the probability of Donaire to be able to use that left hand because it's going to be controlled. So here is an example. Boom. So for this one, this is going to be a right hand. I'll pause it right when he controls it. So he throws the right hand, and then he controls the lead hand of Takuma in the process. So as he throws this jab, boom, he taps the shoulder of Takuma to make sure that he's not going to throw that. And if he did throw it, Oubaali is going to feel it because it's going to go right under his arms. So the left hook is going to go right under his arms if Takuma decides to counter with the left hook, making it easier to see coming. And I think also one reason why he did that, why he tapped his shoulder here, way to the side, is because he wanted to step out of that lead foot, which is important if you are fighting a hooker, okay? Here's another way of controlling the lead hand of his opponent. Basically what he's gonna do here is he's gonna go inside, and notice how he shoots up. Now what's the benefit of shooting up? The benefit of shooting up with the jab, throwing an up jab, is that you can use your right arm as a barrier between your right arm and the left hook of the opponent. So watch how Takuma Inoue tries to throw a check hook, and then in the process of doing that, not being able to succeed simply because the trajectory of the punch of Oubaali is way up there. Boom. Okay, so this outstretched arm that's going upward serves as a barrier between his arm and Takuma's arm. And so Inoue was unable to throw his left hook no matter what. Now you may say, yeah, well, Oubaali also wasn't able, but that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is the main function of the jab. Do I recommend the up jab? Do I recommend a jab to go that high? No, because it's not as powerful, but it serves as a barrier between your arm and the left hook of your opponent, which is really crucial if you're fighting Donaire. Now, let me know what you think down below. I think Oubaali got this one. I am Filipino, but you know, I'm one of those unbiased dudes, and I love Donaire. I think win or lose, it's gonna be a great fight for him. I think win or lose is gonna get the respect of the people. And if this is really his last fight, hopefully, people will remember him as a great warrior, one of the greatest of all time. And win or lose again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if he wins or loses this one. Nothing to lose for Donaire. He's already proven himself, but I got Oubaali just by looking at the technicalities of it. Let me know what you think. Subscribe if you're new, and join me on Patreon, because once I get that 4,000 watch hours, I'm not gonna upload as much here. I'll just post more content over there. Hopefully you can join. It's very cheap. I'll see you guys soon, and peace out, man.